Can I be so real with you right now? I thought several years ago that when I started running my creative business, it would solve so many things for me. I thought that I would finally find my life's purpose, that I would never be upsetty spaghetti ever again, and that I would just be chilling, happy, having a fun time all the time. But that is not the case. That is not what happened. Let me tell you what happened instead. Well, hello and welcome to my humble abode. We're still getting set up in here. I'm sorry it doesn't look as cute as I want it to be. But we are here today to talk about art. Today I wanted to talk about livelihood and purpose and their connection or lack thereof, perhaps. Because for me, livelihood and purpose used to be very interconnected. Like I always thought that when I found my life's purpose, my livelihood, like financially, where I pay my bills from, it would all come from the same place. And the more that I've been running my creative business in the last 2 years, the less and less I'm finding that this is the case for me. Because for me, whenever you start to build financial support from something that once brought you so much joy, your relationship changes a lot to that thing. And I think for me, the biggest reason why livelihood and purpose will always kind of live in different boxes is because livelihood has to exist in a system where the real world governs. Whereas our life's purpose is malleable, changeable, and it's often like, for me, it feels like something that lives in my head. It's like a question I'm always trying to ponder and figure out. Like, what are you searching for? And while you can obtain your dream job, start your dream business, there will always be some level of conflict or struggle to that, which just is not carried by your purpose. Your purpose will always feel light, at least mine does. And that conflict and struggle will always pull you back down to earth. So the answer instead that I'm finding, at least in my own life, not placing so much emphasis on that which supports my life financially to also be fulfilling to my heart and soul. It's just natural that it's going to become part of the motions of life. The more that I ponder this subject of livelihood and purpose, the more things that I have to tell you about it. Welcome back to the Reclaimed Creative Mindset and Motivation for Everyday Creativity. I'm your host, Jen Carmiel, and today we are talking about how to reconcile livelihood and purpose. I think that a lot of people who are looking to build a creative business, at least very early on in their career, are asking this question, or rather, I feel like I know myself reached for it very early on. One outfit change later. But yeah, I know that for myself, very early on in my life, I always told myself that when I could support myself financially from my art, I will have found my life's purpose. And there are a lot of things in the midst of my hair being messy, in the midst of like me working on my business that, you know, they're like a gap, this missing piece in what I would want my life to be one day. We'll get into the nitty-gritties of that in just a minute, but first a word from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by the Small Joys Club. The Small Joys Club. The Small Joys Club is a really cool thing that I do where I mail you an art print and a letter every single month to celebrate the small joys in life. So here's the 4x6 letter from last month. And the letter itself, it's so cute, it's so beautiful, we love it. If you join the full letter tier, you do get a journal prompt at the end, so I recommend it. But anywho, on to the video. So I was on Threads the other day, and I saw this post by an artist, and they said something like, I'm going to be removing all of the artwork on my website that doesn't have insert subject matter in it, because insert subject matter made up 90% of all my sales last year. And so I'm just going to remove everything, like flash sale, come get everything that's not insert subject matter. I won't be painting it anymore, or rather won't be offering it on products anymore, however that went. And I 110% understand this from a business perspective, do not get me wrong, because I also in my own life notice pieces that sell so often. Like this piece, for instance, will sell over and over and over and over and over, even though I'm not going to say it didn't spark joy, but then this other piece, which was my personal favorite, doesn't sell quite as often. And I'm always like, why? Because one reminds someone of their pet and the other one is like, well, what is this? But for me, I think it's beautiful and I love it. But I think that this predicament of shifting your business, shifting what you do, depending on audience demand, perfectly demonstrates how purpose and livelihood are not always aligned. It makes sense on one hand for your business to do that, but it did raise a question in my head of like, are you still painting those things? Like, are you still painting the things that you love to paint regardless of who buys it? And that, my friend, is the key to the question about purpose. It's about this like constant state of play, this constant searching for something good in the world. That is what purpose is to me. And so while there is some overlap between livelihood and purpose, it's not fully the same thing. Even if you do build your dream art business one day, it won't be the case that you're just suddenly fulfilled in life. Instead, you have to continue looking for it. It makes me think about this artist and hope that she still paints all the things that she loves to paint, regardless of if an audience is interested in it or not. I know for myself in my own business right now, like, I am in the season of wanting to experiment a lot. Like, I want to create cool, new, interesting things that has never been tested against an audience to see if anyone will buy it. And yet here I am still working on it because it'll be fun. I feel lightened up by the concept of this thing existing. And there is a good chance that I'll make all these paintings and that no one will like them because they might just be too niche or too me. And that's okay to me because it's part of my life's purpose. You know what I mean? It was my life's purpose to just make cool stuff regardless of if anyone is interested in it or not. And I think that is a huge part of being an artist. Related to this subject is sometimes I will see a lot of beginner artists who are trying to turn their art into a business start to feel like, oh, I don't know what to do with my life anymore because people don't immediately buy into their work. And that honestly makes me a little sad because I'm a firm believer in, like, the more, like, you have trains of thought that you kind of travel down, right? And so sometimes you're on stepping stone 1 of your train of thought, and maybe the stepping stone all the way at the bottom is what people will actually be interested in to buy. For instance, here's one of the paintings that started this whole series that I'm working on now. For a lot of people, it might not be identifiable how this turned into this series one day, but for me, I recognize it as the first stepping stone that created everything that kind of supports my creative business today. Imagine if I had told myself when first painting these things and bringing them to art markets and no one would buy anything. Like, imagine me telling myself, well, oh, I just can't make it, or oh, well, this must not be for me, or oh, I should probably go find something else that I'm better at. Like, no, there's got to be something inside you that is intrinsically motivated to continue to get good at what you do, to get great at it, and to continue to work at it, even if you're not recognized for it yet. I know for myself, I don't even know where it comes from. I'm just this type of person where I'm like, I want to make something and then it's going to exist and it's going to happen, dang it. Like, it just will. And I hope some of this energy rubs off on you, my friend, because you deserve to feel completely emboldened and enlightened and excited about the future that your life holds. So, if purpose and livelihood are not the same thing, how do you balance the two? So, for me, I ran into a big problem last year. Oh man, it was a big problem. I burnt out so hard. I have a little art print on my wall right now that says burnt out but still optimistic that I got from like an art market show one time from another vendor, and dang, is it accurate, because I got so burnt out. And it was such a sad feeling to me because I still knew that I had this little part inside me that wanted to keep going, that was very interested in the work that I was doing, but my body just could not. I just could not continue doing it. And essentially all of this happened because I was just pushing myself every single day. I was pushing myself to the output, like, oh, I need to show up to do this. I need to show up to do that. I was very worried about like the financial aspect of my business and if it would measure up to what I wanted. And in all of that business push, I lost a lot of like my purpose, like what I was searching for each day. That little curious child that lived in my brain and approached the world with what if X existed, what if this existed, what if that existed, and then goes to make it. That little child got so tired all the time, and rightfully so. She needs a break. But the reason that I say all of this is because you cannot push yourself through like on your livelihood financial aspect alone, because that inner child is what fuels everything that your creative business was built off of. Everything was built off of the fact that you are just a kid at heart and you had a dream. You had a dream one day. What can I say? You thought of these cool things that you wanted to experience in the world, your creative soul, and that is what sparked all of this. And so you cannot just look at what you wish existed like in the system of capitalism and try to force all of that to happen. The more that I come to understand this will take so much longer than I ever expected it to, this will take longer than I want it to, is the happier I feel. You know, like the more that I accept that, the more I'm just like, you know what? This is just the vibe, I suppose, and this is how we will be rolling. purpose I have found is to sit hand in hand. Oh my gosh, there's all this sun happening right now. But purpose I have found is to sit hand in hand with play. It's to do something for absolutely no reason, to just have fun with no means to an end. Something that I have found super, super helpful is to start asking myself, like, can I do this again tomorrow? Like, if I'm working really, really hard during the day, like making all my email campaigns, scheduling some Instagram posts, writing blog posts, like doing all this stuff to try to create visibility for my business. If I ask myself, can I do this again tomorrow? Like exactly what I'm doing? And the answer is no, it means slow the heck down. I've heard a quote one time that sometimes when people say, give it 100%, give it your best, they think best means the best that you can give without burning out, without hurting yourself, without sacrificing like yourself. And sometimes you can think, give it 100%, give it your absolute best. That means whatever you can give until you're on the floor. And that's me sometimes. Sometimes I'm a little bit too intense. Sometimes I give a little bit too much. And so I've had to learn that my best means whatever I can give without sacrificing myself and how I feel. Because if you start to sacrifice your own health, you start to put yourself back tomorrow. Like imagine if you just gave however much you had to give without feeling tired today, and then you can do that tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But now imagine you gave way too much today and you cannot give anything tomorrow. You gave 100% today, 0 tomorrow, and then 0 the next day, and then 0 the next day, and then you're back on 100. You see what I mean? The math ain't mathin'. You gotta give like a good 75%. I don't want to say 75% because it is 100%, but you know what I mean. At this point, I think that you know what I mean. All to say, for me, asking that question of can I do it again tomorrow allows me to find my safety and my fun. Another thing that is very helpful for me in my life is to make sure that I always have hobbies outside of painting. Now that painting is a large part of my job, I need to make sure that my brain feels like it can turn off, that it can feel like it has a place to hang out and chill and not be worried about life. You know what I mean? And for me, that's Pocopia. I'm so obsessed with Pocopia right now, but that's a topic for another day. I hope you don't put too much pressure on yourself as a creative person to like find the financial support from your business. I mean, it's not for everyone. It's definitely a tricky thing to do. Of course, it only becomes harder when you start to put like this pressure on yourself to perform immediately, to reach certain milestones immediately, to be fully self-sufficient immediately. And really, all of this is just about finding a life that you love to live. And if you rush it too much, you're not going to love to live that life. I promise. I promise, because I was there. I rushed it and I was just like, dang, this sucks. Like I was so tired all the time and I'm like, this is not a vibe. You know, everything happens for a reason. You know, all of that experience caused me to take a little bit of a step back and be like, okay, what is really important to me here? Because I can't be doing this all day, all the time, anytime, you know what I mean? So anyway, I hope that this video was somewhat helpful for you, for anyone who feels like they're putting too much pressure on themselves to be financially supported by their art too soon, or to think that being financially supported by your art will magically solve things for you, because honestly it won't. It'll make things so much more complicated. It'll make you have to reorganize all of your life, because that's what I had to do, because it turned what used to be like a very safe and fun thing for me to do, painting, drawing, into something that also carries some responsibility. And to take something that carries like all of your fun and safety and to hop responsibility onto the load, like, you know, that changes a lot of stuff. And not to say the changes are always bad, but it takes some adjusting, it takes some transitioning. So all to say, thank you for being here today. I have to go feed my cats or they will tear down my house. Join the Small Joys Club if you haven't already. You get cute little art prints as well as like a little motivation for your day-to-day. Would love to see you there. And as always, spending any amount of time here on this channel with me is a gift. I really do consider it a gift, and for that, this humble artist says thank you.